she's a hero. She survived all she's been through. Confidence that was off key. I'm Cozy. How are you? Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Bear, and this is Cub.
And Chub.
I like that you snuck in a little B for our episode. It's always nice.
I mean, Lisa Todd Wexley is the Beyonce.
LPW, baby.
She's amazing. She's great. She's wonderful. I can't say enough about her. I wish she was a real person, so I wouldn't be this crazy.
Tim, how you doing?
I'm perf. How are you?
Doing good. I'm excited to dive into part 2 with you.
We're gonna dive in.
Man, Usher's having a little renaissance. Usher's having a little renaissance this week.
Thank God for Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer is just keeping people alive.
Listen, and she's also out there having, birthday dinners with her maybe ex. I don't know, but look, you
gotta keep the family together if you want to. That's fine.
Exactly, baby daddy.
Keep them in the life, but
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna dive into part 2 of our And Just Like That discussion for season 2.
Yes, and this, thank God that they did something for Naya.
Wow, yeah, finally.
Justice for Naya. I love that she's writing and
getting promoted and getting on boards.
Yes, with the Fabios of the world.
Smith Jarrett was with us in spirit this
season. Right? So, out of all the characters in part 2, which one do you resonate with? Who are you?
Well, I think I'm of two minds. I think that I contain part Charlotte and part Miranda because I have the prudeness yet hoishness of Charlotte, right? Like the proper way we're gonna go about things, but I'm gonna fuck my way there. Like I've got that part down.
Yeah.
But then there is that type A nut job of me that is Miranda. Like the like we need a plan, and the thing where it's that fake thing where if I plan for everything, nothing will ever be a surprise and everything will be in control. And all that does is make you have less control and spiral you out when things don't go your way.
Exactly.
So I like to think that I'm a blend of Charlotte and Miranda, but I know that I'm a Miranda. And that's fine. Somebody's got to be Miranda. We can't all be Carries. We can't all be the main character, right? But Miranda,
I can't relate.
I'm sure you can't. But
I should write a book. That's all I'm saying.
You could sell a book. You could sell the fuck out of a book.
It'll be surviving.
Oh my god. Oh, I can. Stop. So yeah, like I think Miranda's the one when people get asked that question where they're like, I think I'm a Carrie, I think I'm a Samantha, I think I'm the main character, the funner person, but no one wants to be called a Miranda. And I'm like, know who you are, know your truth. When you're a type A crazy, like we need those people in this world.
Yes.
And we need those people who are wild and who are cusp Sagittarius Scorpio babies and who like get emotional and go crazy when we are who we are, right? So
I see you as Charlotte, though.
You see me as Charlotte?
Okay, because she's type A. She is like
she has those tendencies, sure.
Things don't go her way a lot of the time, and she here in the now, she's like, letting it roll off her back a lot easier. But it wasn't always that way.
No,
she was very much like, when is it gonna happen for me? And that part wasn't you, but like,
no, I think what Charlotte lacks that I have with Miranda is the ability to tendency to burn everything to the ground when you're highly emotional. The things that I've done in my life where I'm like, I have a bad day and then I quit. on everybody I love and the things that I've built, and I will just move and go somewhere else.
One would say you're a vampire and you can turn off your emotions very well.
Yeah, I will. I will disassociate really, really. And Charlotte, like as emotional as she can be, she has like she knows her goals. She'll stick to them. She's not going to quit on people like that. Whereas Miranda will go lesbian and move out west, and I am very capable of that. So I
Really. I mean, we still have to tell the West Virginia stories, the chronicles.
I mean that. Oh god,
Because I was left.
I dipped. I went west.
I mean, I was abandoned again.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah. My book would be shorter, but it'd be like an accompaniment of your book. Tim, what about
like a study guide.
study guide? Yeah, a footnotes how to read Tim's book. Holy shit. Tim, what about you? Who are your characters? Who are you in this world?
So I'd like to think I am a Lisa Todd Wexley.
Yeah,
I'd
right.
love to think that I am that Renaissance person that can do it all and do it flawlessly and look great while doing it. But the truth is, I'm somewhere in between like Carrie and Naya. I am. Like, I'm either the main character or I'm not getting any. Like,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, it's very me. Like, like big dad, mom and dad, brother died.
Oh my god.
You know, it's a thing. It's just like Aiden, somebody beep. Not gonna. We all know. I have an Aiden. I had, you know, I've had my fair share of people that have made me the main character in things. But I also have had years of being Naya and not having a damn thing going on. So yeah, I am definitely those two. And I you know, I've come to accept that in my life.
Yeah, I can definitely see you as Carrie. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about fucking Naya to know if you're Naya, because these bitches won't write for fucking Naya.
I mean, the way she rides that dick, that's all you need to
That's true.
know.
You do break your back like Naya. That's good.
I mean, I go to the chiropractor 3 times a week, so it is
Gotta
what
get
it is.
aligned.
Yes. And you know, when I do show y'all who I'm messing around with, it's worth it. So, you know, sometimes we have an Andre that leaves us with nothing and no one. And sometimes you have a big that leaves you with a sum of money that you very are happy about.
I can't wait for that part of your story to come along.
I can't wait until a Peloton comes and makes me rich. But,
On to the next.
John! No, I'm just...
No! Oh no, I'm triggered! I'm triggered! Oh! Don't you dare.
Oh my god. He was so small.
It was so small. Okay, all right then. Well, we've bared our soul on which characters we are. You want to dive into this recap for the listeners?
Yes. So we're going to start off with episode 7, right?
Episode 7 through 11. That's what we're doing today.
Yes. So episode 7 has us at Valentine's Day. And Aiden is coming, girl.
He's on his way.
And we find that Carrie and Aiden are at wrong restaurants for a little bit. They go to a hotel because Aiden has trauma drama. Anthony meets an Italian poet off of Charlotte with a nice bread loaf.
Woo! It's risen.
Charlotte thinks she's having a stroke, but she has a pot brownie awakening.
Oh, yeah.
Miranda goes on a crabby date, and that is an understatement. Shay has an animal kink and wants to work at an animal clinic. LTW is me and realizes that these kids are doing a lot out here.
These 28 kids.
And she's not out here for it. Naya is still bored, and that's her storyline.
Yep.
Yeah, Seema is mad about not couples things. Which, okay, listen, that's an argument.
It's fair. It's fair. So, I gotcha.
What about episode 8?
Episode 8. All right, Carrie and Aiden are all in, and Carrie is having the best O's of her life.
Oh,
they really start digging in on this. In order to get over the fact that Aiden is 5 years old and can't walk into her apartment, Carrie rents out Shay's apartment to have a neutral spot so they can hang out and fuck in non-hotels.
Wow. Dickmatized.
Seema is pulling away from Carrie because of the Aiden stuff. Seema wants a love and someone in the Hamptons, and she thought Carrie would do that for her this summer, and she's got feelings about it. I'm excited to talk about that with you.
Yeah. I love to pull away from a girl.
Anthony wants to fire Giuseppe because he's gay. This show is insane.
It's called Gays of Our Lives.
Charlotte just wants to wear a belt, damn it. I've never felt so closer to Charlotte before in my life. She's so unapproachable. Anyway.
I actually don't feel close to Charlotte because I don't do bone broth. I'm not doing that, but I have, done a juice or two.
I got you. All for a belt.
My skin is beautiful.
And Naya is finally having some post-divorce fun. Thank God she's doing something.
Thank God for Danielle Steele. I was just like, what is the point? You're dragging this black woman along. Stop doing it.
Give her something or someone to do. Tim, give us the recap on episode 9.
Well, Carrie visited Aiden and his sons in Virginia, like a simp, and tidy whitey Aiden and Carrie and Carrie get evicted from Shay's Airbnb.
Yeah.
Carrie then decides she wants to buy a place for this man. But months have gone by. Maybe. And Carrie also talks to Kathy, Aiden's ex-wife, because rich white life. And Brady, which is Miranda's child, and Lily, which is Charlotte's oldest child. They are. And Charlotte and Miranda go to discuss this at a Chipotle. They do. Yeah.
Sorry.
They go to a Chipotle. And this is what I'm talking about. The money. The money don't match. Why are y'all going? Okay.
It's okay. Keep going, baby. Keep going.
Okay. Naya was scrolling after she was fucking. And saw her man or her ex-man got what he wanted, and she was mad about it and said, "Get out, Fabio. I'm done having sex."
Goodbye, sweetheart.
Because that makes sense. Yeah. The sexploration is now over. Anthony and Giuseppe are anti-gay, and they've had 5 dinners and no dick. So I don't understand what they're doing. Both of them are attractive, and yet there's no fucking. Seema is fucking in apartments with a movie director, and therefore she gets a sale. Che is still a kitten pusher, so yeah,
just pushing that pussy all night.
Yeah, and LTW is pregnant.
Preggers.
Yes. We are revealed.
Sorry. I'll save it. I'll save it.
Reveal, yes, that she is pregnant. And I have thoughts of how she revealed it, but what about the next episode there?
Okay. Episode 10. So Carrie sells her old apartment for country lurch dick.
Yeah. For country lurch dick.
To her downstairs neighbor for nothing. Rich. But Aiden's son, Wyatt the Puzzle, is in an accident back in Virginia, and Aiden needs a split. Those damn kids. Charlotte, the main character. Sorry, I am reading Tim's notes live, people. This is the best. Sorry. Okay. Charlotte, the main character, sells a painting to Sam Smith and gets trashed with her work friends. Again, I love when Charlotte just gets a nice, light, easy, breezy storyline. Miranda is thriving at her new job and wants to stop ghosting people. I'm confusion.
I mean, why do you want to stop doing that? Why do you want to stop a relationship that is toxic? Like, if you're done, you're done. Be done.
You're done.
I don't get it.
Shay does a stand-up set that includes jokes about Miranda, who is in the audience.
Aki.
Stanford becomes a monk, and I do want to.
He let go of all his worldly possession.
Yeah,
he's dead, girl.
Dead.
Yeah, he did.
He's dead.
He did.
Anthony with a great ass won't bottom for Giuseppe because of outdated roles.
Yes.
These gays.
Tops and bottoms.
LTW is torn with her pregnancy and has a miscarriage, all in the same episode.
Yes.
This was a whirlwind for our
She said, I don't want it, the baby said bye. And that is sad.
Not a damn invitation. Naya spends a lot of money on her ex's baby.
Listen, not an invitation to your ex-wife. How you got some woman pregnant and was like, oh, here's an invitation to the baby shower. Yeah. What the fuck?
Nope.
Don't do that.
Seema tells Ravi, the director, her new love, that she loves him, and he returns the gesture.
Which was very cute.
It was very sweet. Tim, take us home. What happens in the season finale?
All right, girls. Well, we see it. Samantha, she calls in to say that she ain't coming. She not coming. She ain't been coming. And she never will come.
She won't be coming. Nope.
She said, actually, turn the phone away from you.
Yeah, I don't want to see your
I want to see the set. Let's talk to the set, sweetie. I'm not talking to you. Anyway.
We'll get there.
All right, so she calls and says she's not coming to the last dinner. Apparently, Carrie likes cats. I thought that Carrie didn't like anything that was a responsibility.
This is like of all the twists and turns of this season, this was the one I was like, this is not our girl. Hold up.
I was like, who is this? Anyway, okay. Sorry. Harry thinks he's doing it all and then buys an apology iPhone. What?
I'm putting a flag in our process right now. From here on out, I will write the summary of draft 1, and then Tim is going to do his draft over my draft. This is amazing, Tim. You are the best.
I'm just saying.
So sorry
it's
to
very odd. Like, she's like, I know you think you're doing it all, but you're actually doing the bare minimum.
You're doing any bare.
And then all of a sudden he says, oh, I'm late because I had to go and get you a cell phone because I'm sorry that I thought that I was actually Mr. Mom, and turns out I'm not.
Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
Yes. So Carrie throws a dinner party to say goodbye to her old apartment, Rich. Miranda with a horrible outfit visits Steve, who speaks Spanish all of a sudden. Visits his new business and smooths things out in some straight boy, gay woman friendship thing. Which is beautiful, but I'm noticing that Miranda always has ugly ass clothes when she comes to Steve. But then it's bomb for everybody else. I don't get it. Maybe that's why the marriage ain't last.
I was gonna say she wrote it. Yep.
Anyway, and then Miranda, goes on to BBC, Big Black Cop, for an interview. As she should. The prestigious professor, because I'm tired of her not getting her just due. So I have her roses. The prestigious professor, Naya, the Columbia Jewel, meets the chef / bar guy that we already met at the party, and she's hungry.
Woo!
She's hungry for what he's cooking. Sausages on the menu. Che is cocooning, and the jokes weren't funny. Like, they weren't. And they realized that they had a transition relationship with Miranda. LTW feels guilty and wants to let it go. But the bob is bobbing, and the husband is partnering.
Yeah.
Those two together can get through anything, and that's why I love them, and I will be the third. Giuseppe says he's leaving, and Anthony says, I'll bottom for you.
Finally!
Which is truly gay love. Lisette is so young.
Such a baby!
She's so young. She just comes in and she's just like, I got on the Barbie, girl. You see this closet space? She left me the bras.
She left me her old bras.
Ugh. Anyway, she's so young. Seema, not a temp, decides to trust her boyfriend, who is the head in Egypt for a movie. And he seems to be an intelligent, emotional man that calls her ass out and says, you got problems. I'm out here trying to be with you. I ain't never gave you no reason not to think that I wouldn't be with you. But your crazy's about to lose me.
Yeah.
And she straightens up and flies right.
Yeah.
And what else? Oh, Aiden, skinny Aiden tells Carrie he needs to stay in Virginia for his almost grown boys.
Yeah.
Which is it's a different take on parenthood. We usually see the mother being the person that's very falls on the sword.
Sure.
But now we're seeing the father, Aiden, being a good dad. And it kind of takes away the drama that has been going on half the season. And then Carrie flies to Greece with Seema, and Smoke is just beautiful.
She's so cute.
Like, she's just pretty. Like, honestly, I don't know that man's name, but he has a beautiful wife.
Oh, Bobby Lee. Yeah, what is his name in the show?
I don't know.
Yeah, her podcasting friend.
But his wife is gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Yes. So that concludes everything.
That's the recap.
Yeah. So I've said a couple things in the midst of recapping.
So good. Tim, you nailed it. I'm so sold on our recap process now. I'm so glad we have a process, because that's exactly what the fuck's going to happen going forward on that.
Aiden has no ass anymore. There's no ass in those tidy whities. Aiden is a child.
His inability to
at least discuss why he's not going in.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's not even that, because we know theoretically why. We know the drama. We know why he's hurt. But at some point, like maybe even at first, that's the deal. But if you're going months into this relationship and she's renting a friend's apartment for you.
For your trauma.
For your trauma. She's legitimately looking at buying a place that is
buying real estate for the dick, for
millions of
dick.
dollars, because you won't go upstairs. I feel like Oh no, Tim, you're frozen.
I'm
there
dead.
you are. Hello again.
I don't. Oh, you're frozen. Okay. Okay. You were frozen too.
That's okay.
Not anymore.
There we are. Now we're back together. Hello.
Hi, I'm back. Anyway.
Okay. So yeah, part of me is just like, this is a very weird hill to die on.
Yeah.
For a 60-year-old man. So I don't know. I just
with 3 kids and an ex-wife and has his own baggage. First of all, you got 3 kids. You can't tell me nothing. I don't care what happened years ago. Yeah. You got 3 kids and I got to deal with them.
Yeah.
Get in this house and let's fuck.
I appreciate a hotel getaway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going somewhere else and being somebody else's problem, and have to clean up. Like
I would love to. I mean, I love a good hotel like Hodem. Yeah. Like it's fun.
But if you're staying at that hotel for a month and Carrie's bill is $30,000, this is ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah. And the only reason why the true only reason why I'm dealing with it is because it's not real. But like,
yeah, sure.
The only reason why I'm kind of okay with it is because he did like buy that other part of the apartment for her.
That's true. He did make an investment before.
Yeah. So I will give him that. But other than that, it's giving very like, y'all need to get it together.
Can we discuss, and I mentioned this in the previous episode, I think the crown for like cutest couple award to Charlotte and Harry is really delivered in this episode when they go on a date for Valentine's Day. Yeah. Charlotte thinks she's having a stroke because she had a pot brownie from one of her kids. Yeah. Harry is worried sick. They go to the ER. The doctor tells her she's high on THC.
And Harry's like, no, not my wife.
And she's like, I think I had a brownie, Harry. And I don't know what it is about these two. Like, they're in my heart.
Well, the thing about it is like this precious parenting is very wild to me, though.
And you bring in I don't want to say the complication, but between Lily's adoption, and raising a child who is non-binary.
Yes.
I think that they are naturally going to be more sensitive and maybe like raising the kids as a tribe.
But then you get like, girl, like I'm not going outside to get your fucking bitch ass condoms.
But then you're in the snow getting condoms for your 16-year-old, and it's like,
who is just okay with announcing. Listen, I'm not saying that you should not have open dialogue with your children. I'm just saying, when are your kids going to learn that there's a time and place for all things?
If you can't tell your kids they're being outrageous because you won't book them a spot at Nobu so she can lose her virginity, we need to have a discussion.
I mean, she went from talking about privilege to I want to go to Nobu.
Emo, oh my God, I've never felt so close to a character than Emo Lily trying to tell her.
Was it Emo Lily or was it just that gerbil from Sky High? Like with the purple streak? I'm like, what is she doing?
She was on her little keyboard. I mean, I was that kid. I mean, I hate to say it, but I was that kid with the moody. It was me.
I mean, I get it. We all go through teenage years.
We are who we are.
It's just very nuanced for me when I'm like, you just gonna tell your mama you about to go fuck? Like, and then you just gonna call her and be like, bitch, we ain't got no condoms. Like,
dropping Miranda into a date from her 20s when she's 55 is both one of the funniest and most horrendous things to watch.
But the thing about it is, like, they really didn't explain why she lives like that.
I didn't need to know why Cat Lady lives the way she does. Because some people live that way.
Yet again, another great actress from Younger.
Oh yeah,
I love her.
Oh yeah, she's been in a bunch of shit. I loved her.
Yeah.
But Miranda trying to get back out there and seeing what life's like for people who don't have her lawyer money, her surfing on a couch. I'm still gonna. Anyway, this is so.
At least she had a couch to lay on. She could have been in the cat litter.
Well, she couldn't get her left foot out of the litter and put her coat on. This woman, anyway.
And then the bitch asked her for money for
for the takeout. Laundry. She's like, I gotta go put a load in.
You see, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gents and theys and thems. Look, sometimes people just have one nice thing and that's it.
That's it.
Maybe they got good dick. Maybe they got, a really crystal like mouth situation going on.
Right.
Or they have a really good voice.
Yeah.
But that's all they got. Get out.
Run.
What else do you offer?
Run.
As soon as you open that door and I know you smell cat piss, I would have left.
Speaking of cats, Shay and the Animal Clinic storyline. I mean, so
I get it. She's broke, but
her supervisor, not the doctor or the veterinarian, but
is trans, maybe?
I believe so, but that's me making an assumption. I just want to be honest. But that character actually I think is very funny, and her quips back to Shay, keeping her in line. I'm for that.
Yeah.
But Shay gets, like Naya, Shay kind of gets sidelined for a few episodes as the returning to the animal clinic.
But she still has like that sort of, I guess maybe she just has that vibe of sexiness anyway. Or sorry. They have that like sex vibe, so it doesn't feel it doesn't feel so much that they're not having sex. Like,
yeah,
I didn't until you said something. I was like, oh, I guess she wasn't having sex for a couple episodes. Like, they were not having sex for a couple episodes,
right?
And plus, they had that like other person, the bald-headed person, come through.
That person comes in at the back end a few episodes in, because they visit them. But I don't know. It's a weird way to sideline Shay in a way that, because they can't write. They're doing this comedy thing, but it's not working. They're sad. They're a burnout. Which I mean, I know people like this, but
they didn't show that they were smoking as much.
It's
back in.
It's insinuated because they do a couple times, but I think the insinuation is that they're just at home, not doing anything until they get a job. Yeah. It's not bad. It's just one of those things that's like, okay, this is part of the story now. Okay,
yeah,
we're gonna go to the animal clinic for a couple scenes. Okay.
And I'm really interested to see how they incorporate them if they get us next season.
Yeah, with the Miranda break, I'm curious because
obviously they're all friends now. Everybody's friends now.
Yeah, because Shay does have that relationship with Carrie, so there is a connection still in there. But I kind of see it as like maybe Shay helping Miranda like figure out the rest of her like queerness and like taking her out, like maybe being a friend in that way. We'll see.
It could be like a good like Miranda and Shay show moment.
Can we talk about Seema having a meltdown over the couple massages? Because I feel like the Valentine's Day like.
So we're gonna get into that, but I just first want to say how how good she looks. Like, Seema is beautiful.
She exudes.
Like, it's just like it's a sizzling hot vibe that she gives without doing much. Like, but yes, in that she really, she was mad. She was mad. Like, I'm not here. I'm not a couple. And I mean, lo and behold, she's been thinking that the whole time with Aiden, the Aiden situation with Carrie.
Right.
And so it's very much like she's tired of Valentine's Day, which a lot of us single girls do be getting tired, child.
Yeah.
Like, I had a Valentine a couple years ago, and I didn't like Valentine. I was like, why is every fucking thing gotta be two? And I'm like, I am two. What? And it's just annoying a little bit. I guess because I'm so used to just being. Listen, shout out to Jason. like years ago, it was like maybe my first Valentine's Day after my parents died, and I didn't have anybody, and he taped a rose on my door to my apartment.
Our brother Jason?
Yeah, a brother
Aww.
Jason. And it was very sweet. So like that's the only Valentine's Day I was like, oh, that's very sweet. Aww. But everything else, I'm just much. Like, fuck Valentine's Day. I don't believe in, well, I do believe in love, but like I don't believe that you should celebrate on one day. Like,
yeah,
I get it that some people just be forgetting all year and they be like, oh, I need a reminder. But that's a problem in itself.
So I want to ask you about Carrie and Miranda's discussion, because as we move into the next episode, she talks about how she's having the best O's of her life. Yeah. And then she says, she asks if Big was a mistake. Yeah. And this whole rewriting of that storyline. Like, her choosing Big over Aiden is a huge plot point of the original series, right? And for all of it, Aiden is an interesting character because there's definitely like a divide in the fandom about whether or not he was the right choice, if that was actually ultimately a bad thing for her. And like the big thing worked until it obviously in the show, he dies naturally, but that's who she ends up with. I thought it was really interesting that within this one scene, they're going to dig into the canon of Big.
Yeah.
Big was the one, and then he died. And it's not that she's just moving on from him. It's that she's wondering if she made the wrong choice.
Yeah. And and the reason why I don't like it is because it just doesn't align with my personal thing. I don't think that you just have one soulmate. I think you can have multiple soulmates.
Yeah.
That you can grow into certain people, you can grow out of certain people. Like, you are going to change and grow all the time. Sometimes you grow with people, sometimes you don't, and you just have to leave them by the wayside.
Yeah.
But I think that had they taken the storyline that I would have liked is I get the chance to see this other soulmate. I get the opportunity to see what this other soulmate would have
right
taken. Rather than be like, oh, there's only one soulmate, and like, did I make the wrong mistake by choosing
yeah, I agree. I think it's weird. Like, I think it would be natural for somebody in her position who's made this strong connection with somebody else after his death to maybe like theoretically think about that. Like, should I have been with Aiden the whole time? Like the thought process, I can understand doing that, but to actually like voice it in the show is like, yeah, I would rather see like, this is what that was. Yeah. And now I'm going to do this other thing, not to question the existence.
Especially when she, you remember she was at the dinner and the art guy was talking to her.
Yeah, Titanic.
She was like, I had a wonderful marriage to a wonderful man that ended too soon.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so
what's the question?
All of a sudden another dick comes and you be like, was it the wrong dick? I'm like, girl.
I think I'm going to categorize it as like ranting to Miranda.
Yeah.
You know, like a moment of panic, like you're just overthinking, because they don't revisit it.
No.
I'm like, you know what? This is just over here as like a rant to my friend.
Yeah. Maybe, so some things are just meant for the journal.
Yes.
And maybe you think of Miranda as a journal.
That's right, yeah. This is my bestie with all the secrets.
Yes.
So she's connecting with Aiden. They rent out Shay's apartment. The Airbnb sneaking around side plot with Aiden to like give like some kind of funny thing with Aiden. I'm 50-50. You know, I don't know.
But also, I get that it had to have been something that would have pushed them out.
Yeah. So you need to get out of the apartment. You need to get.
And Shay's not going to do that because she ain't got no money. She's glad she's getting the money for it.
She needs the money. We need to get her in front. We need to get Aiden in front of Shay to like get Aiden meeting these new people.
Yeah,
it's a good plot device. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's one of those things like,
it's pointless.
Yeah, it doesn't really go.
It's definitely one of those things like, all right, we had to move the plot along. Like,
So let's talk about Seema's jealousy. I felt seen. I felt
I'm a
seen.
little attacked.
Yeah.
Feel a little attacked because
I've been Seema. I've been Seema multiple times in my life. And I'm not saying that you haven't, or maybe you don't currently have feelings about this, but
I feel attacked. I feel very attacked.
yeah.
And I have been Seema. I am Seema. I will be Seema. My friends are my friends. And I get used to a dynamic.
Yeah.
And that I'm not saying that the dynamic can't change. I just wish it wouldn't. And
yeah.
everybody is entitled to grow and change and have their stories. But, you know, sometimes I get tired of being Naya with no story. And, you know, but you know, the more I am Seema. I am still Seema, and I'm hurt a lot of the time, all the time, and it is what it is. And like Seema, I just need space sometimes, and I'm gonna be mad. Like I'm not like, especially I used to feel guilty for being like upset.
Sure.
Like, you know, this new dynamic is changing the way that I interact with some of my best friends.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, well, I'm gonna be mad. And it is what
I'll be mad.
like,
I'll be me. Yep.
I'm gonna be me because like it's the fastest way to get through it. It's just to be like, I'm mad.
It's to live it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm mad and I need the space. It is what it is. Is something wrong? No, because it shouldn't be, but it is. Like it like, and I, you know, I take my little space. I realize it doesn't mean they're not like around. It just means that they have other priorities. And those priorities sometimes will clash with my priorities. And I'll get mad and I'll be over it.
I, again, in the notch of give Sarah Jessica Parker all the awards, when she's begging Seema not to pull back outside the salon.
Now, have you, okay, so I will say this. Have you, because we might get into something that might.
Okay. What?
Have you ever been Carrie?
Begging somebody not to pull away?
Yeah.
When
maybe not like sitting here saying it, but like feeling like, don't do this, don't do this.
I think I've always been Seema in those situations. I've never been the person who has the other relationship but doesn't want to lose the other one. I've never been that person. I've always been Seema as like, I'm jealous, I'm upset, and now you're like, why are you acting different? I'm acting different because you're in a relationship and I'm kind of pissy about it. I've been, Seema is much more graceful about it. I've been the bitter bitch. I haven't had the grace to be Sarah being like, please don't. I'm here. I'm not going to change. It's like, you going to change. And I'm not ready
you
for
are.
it.
And that's the thing is like, I'm glad that she still stood and said, I am going to be mad.
This is me. This is how I feel.
I do feel this way. I'm not saying it's not a little like crazy.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm not saying it's not a little crazy, but I am saying this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And I will get over it, but I need time.
Yeah.
And I understand Carrie's, because I've been through that side where, well, I haven't been through Carrie's moment, but like friendships, when you take, it's different in a relationship, a romantic relationship. You do need space. But in a friendship, I've never gone through a friendship where we take space and it doesn't hurt it in some way. Like, like it always, now I'm not saying like it ended the friendship, but it did do some damage.
Yeah.
And it changed the way that I feel, but I do need to take that time.
Right.
And sometimes, child, I just feel attacked. I'm hurt.
This is one of those moments where
I'm never gonna. And I'm never gonna forgive. No, just
never. Okay.
And yes.
Let's talk about Anthony's workplace violation. So so first off, I don't know when he went from a wedding planner to a bakery owner.
That's because I think it's just more lucrative for him to do that.
Sure.
And you get tired of planning weddings.
He makes bread now, and that's fine. He makes bread with specifically hot. So let's talk about the first HR violation: only hiring people who look a certain way, who fit shorts.
Look, in New York, you can do that.
A bread making agency. He then finds Giuseppe, a poet, via Charlotte, who has a huge loaf of bread, and he keeps him at the job. But once he finds out
Drew Barrymore. Just let's go with Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore blushing at that big piece of bread.
Wow. And it was set up. It was
the magic of Hollywood. It looked great.
Yeah. Right. And I just hope it's not real. That's a lot to carry around. But
that's a lot of luggage. But once he realizes
King Spa, but
he also thought he was straight. Can we talk about the weirdness of the fact that Anthony assumed Giuseppe was straight the entire time?
It's because it's European. I myself go through that.
Giuseppe called it out. He's
it off.
I'm an Italian poet. You thought I was straight.
It's because it's European. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, are they gay or
even
they
if you I get gay vibes from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But especially European people, because I'm just you're lanky. I see you with women. You don't seem like you might like them. I don't know.
Okay, how'd you feel about Charlotte and the belt?
So I feel her pain harshly.
I try not to judge people who have bodies that are not like mine, who struggle with their weight. Because my gut reaction, I'm going to be honest, is to be you're having a problem, right? That's the hurt person. But I then step back and say, everybody has body image issues.
I get where she's coming from, though. As you get older, it seems like it's just so much harder.
Oh, yeah.
To want to exercise, to lose weight if that's what you want to do, to want to get out of bed, to want to engage with people. Everything is so much harder.
Yeah.
So I get but I don't understand she could have just got some Yeti. She didn't have to get, but you know what? She's rich, so she's going to Lane Bryant or wherever. She's going to Belk. She's not going to she's not going online. She can barely do FaceTime, I'm sure.
Her and Harry try to set up that phone anyway.
But it was so sweet.
So cute. They win the couple award. I fucking love them.
I don't know. It's very much LTW and Herbert for me.
Okay, so let's move into this next part because we need to talk. We're LTW getting pregnant in the midst of her career thriving.
It happens a lot.
And here I'm gonna have another white man.
My mother was 43.
So I'm gonna have a white person moment. When they said she was pregnant, I immediately was I clearly don't have an understanding of how old LTW is supposed to be in this show.
She's all the sub characters are maybe 10 years younger than.
Are they all a decade young? Okay,
I want to say so.
Because I was okay, because
they all seem like they're still starting things.
But Naya throws me off because she's already a world-renowned lawyer, not just lawyer but professor lawyer. That
40.
that reads older to me.
Like
LTW.
40, 45, 40,
Yeah.
45. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I lumped them all into the same age range as at least Carrie and Miranda. So when LTW was 55 and pregnant, I was like in my brain, I was like, wait,
Janet Jackson was 50.
49, but yes, might as well have been 50. It's just, that's the thing. I'm like, oh, clearly she's not 55 like I thought. I don't know the age of this character.
And that's what you get when the melanin speaks for itself.
Oh, just beauty.
George.
But getting like her conversation with Charlotte in the store, like, why now? Is what sign is this? And Charlotte trying to console her, but not being really able to, because like, what are you gonna do? She's like, I just want to go home and take a nap. It's like,
not to mention Charlotte was the girl that couldn't get pregnant.
Right. She's somebody who wanted it forever. And
and so LTW, she doesn't have like a real scope for how to tell somebody. She was willing to give it all up.
Yeah.
And you have Lisa, who is somebody who did give it like her all in mothering.
This happens in another episode, but I want to stay here for a second because this is kind of the next steps with her character. When she has the guilt, and like considers, like she tells Herbert that I thought about that conversation and I can't do it, but I thought about it. It entered her mind, right?
Yeah,
because of course it would.
And I think it enters most people's mind who it's not the foremost thing that they want.
Of course it would, but it's that minimal thought she gave to it that when she has the miscarriage in the next episode,
all of a sudden it was a manifestation.
Did I wish this pregnancy away?
Yeah,
and her and Herbert on that bathtub.
This is what people now listen, but then go further and think about like the people who are going through this in your life who you don't even know. They just look like a beautiful couple. They have their kids and whatnot. They may have told you they were pregnant. They may not have.
Yeah.
And then like they have to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, keep being themselves when a loss has happened, whether you wanted whatever or not. Like I can only imagine as a birthing person, like what it feels like. It almost feels like a failure on your behalf.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't want it, like it's supposed to be the most natural thing or whatever people say. It's not. Yeah. I can't imagine like what that does to your psyche.
Oh God.
And you have other kids that you have to take care of and do things for. You don't have time to sit and deal with that.
Yeah.
that pain or that, trauma.
When she goes to Charlotte, at the
party, like, oh, you're drinking. I thought
she's like, oh, am I not supposed to know yet? And she goes, I lost it, not here.
Yeah, because we all know that Charlotte is that girl.
She will go right into hyper mode.
You can see her face is like, like does not compute. Like
gotta hold her back. Yeah.
Like, and she was just like, not now.
This is not.
And then she, when it was time for her, and she had her moment, she quietly went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Can you
right.
Just being hurt, because I get it. I have those moments sometimes.
Yeah.
I miss people that died in my life, and like it triggers, like little things will trigger it. Seeing somebody love on their cat, like a little like a little girl like having their mom clapping at them doing something relatively like amusing. Yeah. Like those little things, they affect, and the loneliness that you feel in that moment. And I'm so glad that Herbert like went and found her and like they mourned together.
Yeah.
In the middle of somebody's
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just glad that that's why they're my favorite couple is because they're actively like fighting for each other.
Yeah.
And actively like growing with each other. Even sometimes like when it seems like he's a little macho, she's like, pipe down, sis.
Yeah,
like,
calm down.
Like
you already don't take care of the kids. What's gonna happen when I have this baby? Like, exactly. Reading him.
Yeah. You already can't take care of grown kids. So what are you gonna do with this baby? And why do you get this vasectomy that I asked you to get to begin with? Like those are questions that you have, and you know, it's cool. Like I just appreciate that. So kudos to that.
Let's give some love to Miss Naya. She finally gets some back-breaking moments.
Yes, Danielle Steele moment.
She gets to re-meet her outs.
Listen, it's a different world from where he came from. And I am so glad that he showed up again. Woo! With the dreads gone. I'm like, wow. The dreads are beautiful, but like he's a pretty man.
Gorgeous.
And and I'm so glad he said I'm hungry. Like,
and in theory he can cook. I would be dead. I would be dead.
And not only in theory, she said it burst in my mouth.
Okay, that whole play at the table.
And they were like, get a room. I'm like, bitch, you just took a room.
Like, it burst in my mouth, and he's like, that's what I wanted to happen. I was like, oh no.
I was like, yes.
I'm as mad as I am about her getting sidelined the half of the fucking season. To end up with somebody so gorgeous, I'm like, if that's what we got to do.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I get it. Like, to end up with, you know, a chef who can lay pipe, I'm down. Like,
I'm down for it. I'm down for this.
So yes, thank you for giving some love to Naya. Also, I want to congratulate her on her things that she accomplished with, you know, Columbia and being the law. It's like some sort of lawyer,
some kind of lawyer board that she's
and then like she was like, me, why me? And she was like, you are the jewel. And I was like, yes, give this woman her flowers. She is in her 40s and she's killing the game in her craft. But I get it. It's a romantic, like, everybody got to have somebody, and that's the storyline that they want to go with. Whatever.
Well, she's pulling a little bit of a Miranda, right? She gets something big in her profession.
Yeah.
And now Chef shows up again, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of like Steve the bartender, and it's like,
okay. But even before, like, she didn't want to go to the party because she was like, I just want somebody to share this with. And I'm like, bro, it sucks, especially when you come from a place where like you've had somebody since high school.
I was gonna say, like, she's used to having somebody to celebrate with, and that adjustment I'm sure is tough, but
I mean, listen, get your chef, sit on it, bite on it, swallow it, take it. All the it's.
Do you have any food I haven't eaten yet? I'm like, I've got food you can have.
I've got boxes of cereal. Like, eat this bread.
Quick shout out to the law professor who comes and gives her that news.
I don't know their name.
He's been in so many things, and I'm like, I love it when you show up.
He was in that show with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes. Oh, the neighbor. He plays his neighbor.
Uncoupled. Is that
uncoupled or coupling or whatever? Yeah, that show.
Excuse me.
Yes. Oh, I love him. Oh, so good. Okay, so let's wrap up Anthony and Giuseppe too. So Anthony and Giuseppe are on this thing about like couple roles, and Giuseppe wants commitment, but Anthony, okay, you know what? Let's have this conversation now because it's this conversation that gets Anthony to start moving forward. So Stanford gets a moment this season. Oh, you are trying to
Post-mortem.
You are trying not to laugh. You are the devil.
Post-mortem. It's fine.
So in real life, the actor passed away at the beginning of the season 1. Like he didn't get
like maybe 2 or 3 episodes in.
Yeah, so they write him out by saying that he goes to Japan to be a social media manager, I think for an artist or something. They write him out so that he's still alive in the show, but is not with Anthony.
Yes.
And so Anthony is now still technically married but single. We get the scene where Stanford has let Carrie know that he has decided to dedicate his life to a monastery.
Yes.
And he gives up all of his possessions and tells Carrie to tell Anthony that he is free.
So Carrie's a medium. And there's a big temple in the sky. And he says, "You are released, my child." And
so I'm gonna be honest. I was curious how they were gonna talk about Stanford because they really haven't.
Because can we also talk about that photo?
So, they were trying to do something for this person. Somebody in that art department, they had all that money for all the outfits, all the places they had to rent out in New York to do scenes, but couldn't get somebody who knew like Photoshop level like 2.
They took that suit off and put that kimono on, and
come on, HBO.
It was what it was.
I know Kim got $1 million, but you can give somebody a couple of dollars to do the Photoshop.
Child, and all she did was talk to the room.
I think it's always interesting when like they try to do something with a character, like because you want to do what's right for the story, not necessarily what's going on in the real person's life.
Yeah.
So like Big dies, but that guy's still alive. That there are a bunch of reasons for that we won't go into. Stanford is dead in real life, but still lives in the show. Samantha is alive in both situations. Okay, so it's always interesting when they try to do this. I wasn't sold on any of it. It's a way to wrap it up. I think I read somewhere, I can't remember what it was. There's some connection to Stanford and Japanese culture, which is like his character at some point in like the original series.
Apparently, like his social media person that he was doing stuff for, like ran away from him, and so he ran to Kyoto, and then like.
Well, no, like in the original, there's some connection to that, either that character or maybe the actor to Japanese culture.
Okay.
Which is why they did that original storyline, because they couldn't do anything else. And then they wrote it this way so that he ultimately was a Japanese monk. Like it was supposed to be an ode to the character.
Oh.
Even though, so there's some connection. I was like, it still seemed kind of odd.
It was.
But when Carrie chugs the drink, so they do the toast with Anthony.
Yeah.
And they do the sip, and then she stops and she keeps drinking and she's looking at Anthony. Like, whether or not that was a decision, like on the day with Carrie, some like weird thing about like, I need this drink because this is a hard scene. Like, whatever that was, that actually touched me a little bit. I don't know how to explain that, but her like needing to finish the drink for Stanford to deal with what they're doing. I was like, this is weird. And then I was like, oh, I'm kind of moved.
I was just, this is weird the whole time. Like,
yeah, so, it was a little weird.
It was just odd for me, but I understand they needed to like, because honestly, I forgot about Stanford, if I'm being honest.
He hasn't been a presence. I mean,
but I know that a bunch of people would have got on Twitter talking about, oh, he's in love, but where's his husband, blah, 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 blah. And so they had to wrap that up. But
well, yeah, and like in the show, he is Carrie's best friend.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. Like, he's known her the longest. Like, his absence is weird from like a storyline that they are that close and like he's just disappeared. So I think they would need to do something, but It was a weird way to do it.
It was just like, oh, scene. What do you want me here for? Like I was like, this doesn't feel good at all.
An envelope. Like, I don't know.
He's like, here's the papers, and he's off to a better place. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
it was an interesting choice, I thought, for sure.
No, but I'm glad that they ended things with him, and now we can get the bread box that we've been needing.
So Anthony decides to after not that it's that big a deal, but after an argument. Okay, so Anthony telling Giuseppe that he's the man and Giuseppe's the lady.
But very Gen X.
It's a very
it could go either way.
This is the thing. People might be offended by that concept, but it is something that generation and even our generation still deals with the concept of giving and receiving and gender roles.
Yeah.
Full stop. So as unsettling as it is to have that conversation, I think it's also blatantly honest about like, I don't do that because I'm not that gender. I'm not that person in a relationship. And I'm like, okay, they're gonna go there. And just Giuseppe,
my thing was like
12.
13.
Giuseppe's like, that seems outdated, Anthony. He's like, I am who I am.
But are you? Like, that's the thing is, I just want people to, I'm not saying you can't believe something. Mm-hmm. I'm saying challenge why you believe it. And be like be able to like talk about why you don't understand or why you believe something.
Right.
Because if somebody challenges you on it and you don't have the information, you're going to get frustrated and you might show a red flag that's not really there when you could have just really done the work for yourself. Like, yeah. But a lot of people are doing that these days.
Kudos to Mario Cantone doing a full back butt scene at the age of 50 plus.
First of all, that butt is nice.
That's like, a bubble butt. That is a cute butt.
I was like, so you mean to tell me you're not bottoming for nobody with that bottom?
That's like, upsetting. That's what's not believable.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't only top. I'm just saying like why do you only top? And just be like, well, I just don't want to nut my butt. That's fine. But when you get into like, because that's a woman's job, then you got
something else to reevaluate.
Yeah. Or if you just have IBS and it's shitty down there, like it is. Like, okay, like
stop speaking my truth. But when I
don't know that life.
I don't know that life. But ultimately, when Giuseppe threatens to go back to Italy in a couple months, and Anthony realizes he's going to lose them, he decides to stop being a dick
and start being an ass.
When things get real. And they decided to make out in Carrie's closet and be awkward in front of like 3 or 4 people who walked.
Yeah, it was 3 people. So like you had the funny scene where she left me the bras.
Lisette,
and then you have like the sad scene where it's like,
it's first LTW.
I'm going through abortion issues. Like it was very real. Like
yeah, that's what happens.
Like the gays will be making out. Like that's what they'll be doing.
They do not care.
They don't.
They do not care about your privacy.
Fuck your cat. Like
your cat. Okay, we've talked about Naya, LTW, Anthony and Giuseppe. You want to do Charlotte or Miranda next?
Let's do Charlotte and Miranda. The fact that they were in a Chipotle talking about their children fucking.
I love. Okay, Detective Miranda and Charlotte. I would watch that TV show. Them trying to figure out whether them kids were fucking or not. I thought that was hilarious.
They were sitting there like, well, they look like they're laughing at something, but it could be different. Oh, switch. Let's switch.
Let's switch.
I'm like, girl, come on. Your kids was fucking, and that's fine.
I loved it. I love Snoopy moms. They are so.
But then
fun.
they were like, they're cousins. I was like,
that's like
they're not cousins.
That's like finding out my stuffed animals were sleeping together. I was like, oh my god.
It is odd. Like, imagine
yeah.
Clearly, it obviously happened because you're a great uncle. But like, imagine like having to talk about that with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't even know how that would work because I don't have no kids, so it's not like you could talk to me about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't have a kid, and you don't have a kid.
Yeah.
Fucking like, I don't even know this mental gymnastics that are going on here.
Yeah, or like, I don't know. It's beyond me. I can't relate. But
yeah, but I would watch a detective show with Miranda and Charlotte every day. I would watch that shit every day.
It's so funny.
Oh my god.
So good. There are so many little shows that are within the show that I'm like, I would watch that. I would watch this.
So bad.
I'm telling you, Lisa Wexley, just start a show and have, Charlotte come in from time to time.
That's right.
I would watch it.
How did we feel about Sam Smith showing up for Charlotte's painting?
I didn't. It could have been anybody.
I didn't really have an opinion. He didn't do a bad. I'm sorry. They
actually. I was more interested in the person that was with them.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh,
that?
Cute outfit. The hair. Everything was. It was on point.
Yeah, Sam was salmon, and that's fine.
Sam was.
Oh, I don't have an opinion. You actually didn't like it?
I didn't. No, so I didn't not like it. I just thought it was what they do.
Yeah, it was like
fake extra for no reason.
They were supposed to be themselves and be like, yeah, I'm Sam Smith, and that's what they did. Yeah.
I mean, it was extra for no reason. Like
that's who was in New York that day to shoot. So
yeah.
But then we get Charlotte like letting loose. Charlotte don't let loose very often.
I'm glad she did.
Yeah, she got to go out. She got to throw her that iPhone in a blender.
Yes. She said, fuck this. I'm in it. Yeah.
I half expected by the end of this season for her to backpedal, to be like, I went too hard. I needed some me time. Like, that's where I thought she would naturally go. Mm. She says, Harry.
She said, I'm going on the gas pedal now because you think you're doing this. Yeah, but you're not doing a damn thing.
She said, I agree. I drank too much. That's my beat. I went too hard. I didn't want to do that. But as a whole, I need me time.
I know you think you're doing everything. You made a couple brunch. You said a couple breakfasts, and you think that you're doing, but actually what you're doing is called the bare minimum.
Bare minimum. What women have been expected to do since day one. Yeah. I was like,
wow. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, she did have a lot of help on the show. She had nannies. It was literally a part in the movie where she was like, how do people without help do it?
How do they do it? Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
It's a different perspective for sure. But I was happy that like she doesn't let go of that. She asked Harry to meet her halfway, and he doesn't want to hear Anthony's butt story. And he's like, I'll go to...
I can't do everything though. I stop at the ass. That's where I get.
Did Anthony tell the kids that? No, I had to hear it. I love Harry. He's so stupid. I love him.
But my thing is this is like, if he did tell the kids, your kids are out here having sex, so it don't really matter.
Your kids could probably help Anthony, let's be honest.
Yeah. Rock could really be... You could have a Rock and Anthony show. Like...
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So many thoughts. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Charlotte ends up where Charlotte is. She's gonna keep doing and working on her career and having like her personal life.
Yeah,
and kids are fucking monsters. Let's be honest.
Exactly. And I really hope that they don't. So Harry was arguing. The argument that Harry had was that the art buyer likes Charlotte, and I hope they don't write that in. I don't listen. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just scrap that. Like,
yeah.
I want Harry to be wrong. Like, like I want him to be wrong for that.
Yes, I think they help skirt that a little bit because of that discussion with Carrie, where the art director then like they make
he likes blondes and then goes to Carrie.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so that was something they thought about, but Charlotte's like, stop being stupid.
Yeah.
So that's where we leave Charlotte, and then Miranda. So at the end of part 1 is when she's broken up with Shay and Steve.
Yes.
So on this back end, we really get her going back into her like career,
which is where she should be.
Which is where she's always thrived. She's been like purpose driven, that kind of piece.
She's kind of lost her way. You know what? I guess that's the point. Is like they were in transition. Like sometimes you meet up with people who mirror yourself.
Yeah, or somebody that I don't want to say she didn't get her off her path. She just like.
That was her path. It was like
she showed her a new part of life, and it threw certain things into turmoil. But I mean, all those little flirtations she's had since with other people as she's gone back to work. Like, I don't know. I think Miranda from like a character arc has been like very interesting to see, like what they wanted to do with her. Because
it was always a pull. Like everything was always like I'm not traditional, but I have this traditional life. Like it's always been that. And so like to see that kind of like disrupted, and now like even when she was talking to or going through the breakups, like I don't be getting in bed with people I'm about to break up with. Like Like it was just that non-traditionalness that we're not used to like seeing from Miranda, but it also felt familiar.
Yeah.
In some way. It was what happened?
We didn't do this on the last episode, so we got to do this real quick.
Ooh.
When Steve confronted her and said, "You didn't even want Brady."
That was true.
No. The truth of it does not matter. He wanted to maim her. He wanted to hurt her in that moment.
I don't think he did. I think it just came out. Like there are things when you are angry at somebody that literally destroyed his life was set, and she was like,
No. I'm not saying he didn't get nuked. I agree that
both of them have been like we focused on how much Miranda was not saying things.
Sure.
But we never focused on what Steve wasn't saying.
To look at the mother of your child and say you didn't even want him just to make sure she gets hurt. That's what it is. It's I get being angry and saying stuff, but that I in that moment I never want to do things to my TV. Like that's not me. I wanted to hurt Steve.
I just see Steve as like somebody who has always been like, if I try hard enough, she'll still love me.
Yes, he's the doer. He's the rock. Like, yes, I agree.
You get tired, but you get...
He was hurt.
He was absolutely hurt and has probably been hurt for years.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, this person that you love is like in and out of relationship with you at all times. And all of a sudden, just because she's pregnant, she'll be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then... you have the issue where we need more space. We have to move out to Brooklyn. And I have this vision for us.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I don't want that. He's like, fuck your vision. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm a Manhattan girl. I've always been one. And I don't care if I got this baby in a damn stroller, he going with me. Like, and Steve has always been the one that's like, but we have to be practical. We have to be, I love you. Mm-hmm. And I want you to be as happy as possible. And the only way I know that is to create a safety that often can be boring.
Yes. You were saying a lot of nice things about Steve, and he's a nice guy, which is why
when he blew up, it was the one, like, listen, other than cheating on her.
I'm waiting for you to justify this. I'm just waiting.
Other than cheating on her, this is the one time he's ever blown up.
I am all for people in their emotions letting stuff out because that's natural. Yeah. These things happen. And you've been in a relationship for 20 plus years. You got a kid. Like, I can't even imagine. So I get it.
But you know she didn't want him.
No. It's not about it. Again, it's about the intent, right? Intention's very important.
Yeah.
And his intent in that moment was to hurt.
Yeah.
And not just hurt her, but bring their child into it. Oh my God. I was beside myself. And then, and you know what sold it for me? Again, give all the Emmys to these women. When you see her reaction to him saying that and how broken
because
she is.
He's so used to her not hearing it. Like she is a
devastated.
She was, and I think that's when he was like, "Oh fuck."
Oh, he knew he messed up the second it came out of his mouth. The second it left his lips, he's like, "That was not what I should have done." I'm glad you recognize that.
But you're saying it. You seem to like say it like he wanted to hurt her, but it just left his mouth. Like it wasn't. He was spiraling, and I don't think it was one of those things. It was like I gotta put all my knives in.
And then just 15 minutes later, she finds the condom.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not even that hurt. You have moved on. You're throwing you're cutting me as deep as you did, and you have clearly moved on. You're holding a grudge. And again, relationships.
I don't think he would have cheated on her.
No. I'm just saying, like, you've clearly moved on. You're not as wrapped up as like you have emotions about what's happening, but you're in a different space.
He was like, "You thought I was a victim."
Yeah. No. All of this is great. I could have killed him. I could have killed him. I was so mad.
I get it. It was some shitty thing to say.
That's tough.
But you know what else is shitty to say?
What's that?
Everything you've built for me is not worth it.
It's not enough.
He's like, I built this house. He's like, all of this is, and she's like, but I'm on the deed. So
yeah, I'm on the deed. You told me in therapy 6 months ago you were moving out. This is my house. Oh God. Anyway, but you know what's great about this?
Because he also doesn't seem like he's great with money, so he probably
fuck it up. What I do love is that
and I'm not a Steve apologist. Like, it is.
No, and I really like, of all the dudes that have been on the show forever, I like Steve. I really do. On a normal day,
I enjoy seeing his butt very often. It was
cute little. Yeah. What I love is where they get to, because what we get to is a resolution not in which they want to rekindle this relationship yet again. I can't handle that. Like, that's happened too many times. But where they can be parents.
Exactly.
Understand where they
love one another as
they do.
Like, I feel like a brother-sister relationship with them.
As strange as, but I know what you mean.
Oddly. But I don't like that they brought Brady in the back smiling. I don't know what that means. Like, does he think they're going to get back together?
I was confused by that too. I like to think since he was upset in the middle of that at the beginning of the season when they were breaking up, that was just their notion to say, like, Brady's going to be okay. Because he is older. Like, he's 19 or 20.
He's almost, college age.
Yeah. So, that's right. He is 18. Right. So I'm hoping he's old enough that he's not the kid hoping the parent trap will get back together. I don't know. I like to think that was just them saying, like,
he got to trap because he's a redhead. Oh,
I didn't even think about that. Okay, so Miranda's, and she's got a BBC interview. Like, she's doing well at her job.
Yes, big job.
Her and Shay. Let's talk about Shay, because that's a whole nother relationship that happened here.
I don't. Let's talk about the comedy.
Okay, so how would you, if me and you had a fight,
mm-hmm.
we're on the breaks right now.
Yeah.
I'm a comedian.
Yep.
And you come to my show.
Yep.
Unannounced.
Yep.
And you hear me tell jokes about you.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Uh-huh.
It was not jokes. Those were
so
not.
first off,
that was malicious.
Yeah. So
now you're talking about Steve was malicious after 20 years.
Yeah.
That bitch was.
I couldn't. So here's what I couldn't tell.
That young NB was very malicious.
What I couldn't tell, I'll be honest with you, Tim, is I can't tell if Shay, if in the show they're actually supposed to be funny jokes and she's just not funny. You know,
I think they were supposed to be funny and that she's not funny because she doesn't have her juice, or she doesn't have their juice.
Yeah. And so there's that part of it, but everything on stage wasn't funny. Like, didn't laugh once. The punchlines weren't punching, and
which makes it worse.
Right? If people were laughing, and on top of that, you know Carrie's gonna be there. You know that's her best friend for life.
Yeah,
that was not.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because I need to talk about something with you.
Okay.
All right. I'm dating somebody.
Sure.
If I was to be dating somebody. They happen to like work with you.
Uh-huh.
And then we break up. Are you supporting them like that?
I don't understand. I mean, I understand where you're going with this with loyalty. I don't understand Shay and Carrie's dynamic as the podcasting team, like, because
they're no longer in podcasting,
right? But they've built a relationship because that relationship existed outside of Miranda, right?
Yes.
So Miranda and her did not know each other when we met Shay and on that podcast.
They met because of her,
right? So Carrie owns that friendship, owns that relationship outside of Miranda. Yes. Miranda dates her friend, like she comes into that. And then that breaks up. That I can get my head around, like, how that's weird and loyalty, but I don't know that because Miranda inserted herself.
It's just it is beyond the support. It's literally, why are you telling me about her? Like, why are you telling me about Che? Like, we're no longer together. I don't need to know nothing about them.
Well, I think it's also kind of tied up in the storyline they want for Miranda for, like, not ghosting, because we find out that Shay, like, tried to reach out to her.
Yeah, it did.
Wasn't responding. Which is fine. Which is fine. So you don't want to be my friend. So don't show up to my set and have feelings.
But don't have non-funny ass jokes.
We can say that Shay's not funny, but if you're going to ghost me after I'm trying to mend something or get us on a good point, don't come to my show and be mad when I'm telling jokes and be mad at me because I didn't know you were coming because I thought you ghosted me. Like,
I would be mad. I'm still going to be mad.
No, I think Miranda should be mad because it was vicious.
But that's what I'm saying. It was not just like jokes that were just like, oh, I fucked around with a straight girl. I know.
Right. No,
like,
it was bad. It
was detailed, and it was evil.
Not funny, and it was bad. Evil. And I also, if I was a legitimate comedian trying to test that stuff out, not only would I not invite my ex, I also wouldn't invite their best friend, who is my friend, but I wouldn't be like, come check this out and watch me do this.
Now, what would you do if you were Carrie? Like, would you have say Miranda had not came?
I would have left. I would have left.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Is like, I would have got up and left.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, what you do?
From all loyalties, like that whole situation was just that was built for mess. Because otherwise, that doesn't.
At the very least, I would have talked to them at the end and be like, "Yo, wow,
what the fuck?
Like, don't invite me to this no more."
Yeah, I was like, I'm not comfortable with this. So because now I've got to pretend like I didn't see this, or I've got to tell her, like, you put me in a weird situation.
Now, what would you do? Would you not tell her, or would you let her know?
I would not tell them.
Yeah,
I would not want to be the person that tells the person that didn't know how terrible something was. And
I'm the person that, like, I know my friend.
Yeah.
And if I feel like they can't handle it, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm just no. Like, I just can't do it.
So that wasn't great. And then Che, at the end of that, they were like,
it made me not even want them to have, like, anything.
No, that was the most. there's a lot of crowd, whining about Che and their story and whether it's boring or whatever. But that was the most unsympathetic I felt to Che this entire series. I was like,
not to mention, like right after that, the young person or seemingly young person came up. Yeah, bald person was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Don't get this off." I'm like, y'all just had a fight. It's emotions.
Yeah,
and y'all just gonna go and have whatever. Like, this is weird.
I do. I appreciate because this would be me at a party. So at the end, at the Last Supper, Miranda walks in, goes straight to Che and says,
"It's not gonna be awkward, right?"
Yeah, it's like this is Carrie's night. We can't fight. And Che's like blows out her blunt. And's like, all right, listen, blows out their blunt. Like, whatever. So
I do enjoy that they like got to it. They were like, all right, we're gonna be in each other's sphere. What's going on? I also like that Sarah Jessica, Carrie called. Well, that Miranda called and was like, I don't want to go. And she was like, bitch, you're coming.
Okay. I thought of you when I saw this. Okay. Yeah. So, and this is about like Carrie's a monster, but she's our monster. So Miranda is saying, I am emotionally not prepared to deal with this. And Carrie says,
I don't care.
I don't care. You have to come. I was kind of wondering what you thought about that. Because I feel like both me and you have had moments in our life where we had to be there for each other.
Yeah.
And we were not in a place to do that. And our guilt or our asking, like, I was kind of curious how you felt about that. Miranda?
Because I've had moments where I didn't come, and I had moments where I did. I had lots of moments where
I think we've been both on both sides of that before. Where
and I absolutely, a lot of times what Carrie did would actually boost me to want to go. You know what I mean? Like, I want you there.
Yeah.
More than like, well, I understand. You go ahead and stay home. Because that would make me feel like, okay, well, you don't want me there, so whatever. Yeah. But like, yes, I guess I feel fine with it.
Yeah.
I would come, but girl, it would be an issue.
That's the thing. It's like I if someone did that to me and I wasn't emotionally ready, but I knew they needed to be there, I would be as best as I could.
Yeah.
But I would not be emotionally available.
No. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely not doing what she did. I would not go up to this person and be like, we got to be all right for kids.
Yeah. Like, Miranda was the bigger person. We can
ignore one another.
Yeah.
We can.
Especially because I thought was Steve there too? Or did he not come?
She said something about Steve.
I thought Miranda was walking into both Che and Steve. And that's when I was like, but I guess Steve and her had already made up at that point. But whatever. But I was like, if I'm Miranda, I'm like, I don't know. And then Carrie's like, fuck your feelings.
She was like, you created this life.
That's right.
I'm in the middle of it.
Right.
This is your doing, sis.
I'm not sending off this apartment without you. I was like, okay. So.
Not to mention, I'm like, number one, why did you... I guess I get inviting Samantha, but she's across the pond. Like, that's a lot.
Oh, God, we didn't even touch this. Okay, let's do our 5-second thing on Kim Cattrall. So
she was there.
For anybody who's listening to this on 90 minutes and doesn't know, I don't know why you would be listening and not be aware of this stuff. Let's just
spoiler alert.
Quick recap. Kim Cattrall was not in on doing the series. Long story short, she didn't want to do it. During season 2 negotiations, HBO went to her and said, what can we pay you to make you do something? She said $1 million. They paid her $1 million. She did less than an hour of work. If you watch the episode, she's in it for less than 60 seconds.
Yes.
And
she talks to the room.
She talks to a room. They edit it so it looks like she's talking to Sarah Jessica Parker. I thought, actually, knowing what we know about it, I thought it was actually done really well. You wouldn't have known. Like, it was done great. And I gotta say, I was fucking happy to see Samantha. Even though I know what I know, I was so happy to see her. I was like,
it was good. But I don't want to see, like, her in with the girls because it taints it. It's just tainted at this point. Okay. I'm glad to see her as the cameo. But I think if she came back and tried to be Samantha with the girls, it's just, I think
I've come around on it. And you know why? Because so the entire series, the original series, they were plagued by those rumors that they didn't get along, particularly Kim and Sarah.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so the entire time,
I'm just learning this. Like,
okay,
maybe so about like 5 or 6 months ago.
Okay, yeah. So the entire time they're plagued by this. Now, during that time, they would always. Are you good? You got a stalker? What's going on?
I think there's construction workers outside on a Sunday.
Oh, okay. I can't hear it though. So
okay, good.
Yeah, you're good on this one. So they're plagued by those rumors. But what's happening before the breakup is they're both saying rumors are rumors. People hate women. We get along. Leave us alone. Right? Is what they're saying. Yes. Then when they go to do the third movie and Kim Cattrall's like, the story's not there. I don't really need to do this. I'm fine. Leave me alone. Then Sarah, sorry, I'm rehashing this whole thing. Then Sarah Jessica Parker, after Kim Cattrall's brother dies, Sarah Jessica Parker gets online and says, sorry for your loss. We're all thinking about you. What any normal celebrity, like, I'm not trying to.
Was this more than a year ago? This happening?
Oh no, this is like 2000. This is like 2018, 19. This is a few years ago. It was right after we moved. Yeah.
COVID really just did a number on me.
Okay, right.
I'm actually 33. But
so
don't do that.
So Sarah Jessica Parker publicly says, sorry for your loss, blah, blah. Like many celebrities were doing for Kim Cattrall. I just want to reiterate that. And Kim Cattrall goes off. Nuclear. And whatever we thought may or may not be happening before and they were being all peachy keen, it's very clear that minimally Kim don't like Sarah for whatever reason. And so I like to think that that was a moment of, my brother just died. We're in COVID. I'm emotionally like a little spent right now. And whatever I could normally do to be like, these are just rumors, I can't do that today. So, you know what I mean? Like normally she would be like,
fuck you.
Yeah. Normally be a texter like, I don't really want to talk to you online. Like, can we keep this, but not that day. She had to post it. And Sarah Jessica Parker is like, that's cool. So when they go to do and just like that, they don't talk to Kim. And they're like, why didn't you talk to her? And she's like, people will tell you what they want you to know. She's communicated to us that she's not really up for this. So we're not talking to her. And then this happens. They get the negotiation. She's there. And it's like, it worked on me. I was so happy to see her.
I was happy to see her, but at the same time, I love the shade of it. She was like, turn the phone around.
Okay.
I loved it.
My favorite part, Tim, I shit you not. My favorite part is she hangs up with her. The kitten goes to run out into the hallway. And Sarah Jessica Parker, before the credits come on, she picks up the cat. She goes, no, Shu, no. I can't deal with any more drama. And just like that, I'm like, oh, no, they did not. I was like, oh, wow.
Listen, that's my thing. It's like, I needed that moment. And just like that, she's gone off to do whatever.
You guys got what you wanted. She got her check. She's in London. Leave us the fuck alone.
I mean, you could do a spinoff and do Samantha's story and just find 4 other friends.
Oh my gosh. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think the fact that season 2 is getting so much more traction online than season 1 did, like it's just a little bit more in the consciousness. And the fact that she caved and did something. If they came back and said she did a scene or 2 next season, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not betting on it, but money's money. And they've just signed a 3rd season. And Kim Cattrall's like, oh, it's actually not unpopular and it's actually kind of working.
Well, I could see her doing like a couple phone things.
Something, yeah, where she doesn't have to interact with Sarah. And she can.
But it has to be moments like, I'm moving out of this moment for us. Like, yeah. It has to be big moments. It can't just be like, oh, I'm just talking to you because, I found a dress that I like.
Yeah.
It has to be something meaningful.
All right. We are literally getting into an hour and 40 minutes. So
Listen, I told you.
Let's get to the Carrie of it all. You ready?
Carrie's a punk. Carrie's a pussy.
For those who aren't aware,
stigmatized.
We know you guys are listening a week later, that this is part 2 of our recap. But Tim, in real time, just watched the season finale not that long ago.
I did.
So let's talk about what happens with Carrie and Aiden. So they were in Shay's apartment. They get kicked out of Airbnb heaven.
I did. And she said, oh my God, I'm so in love. I want to get rid of this apartment that you can't get into, that you can't come into.
She also goes to Virginia and visits
and meets
his
some
kids.
And she one of them don't like him and shouldn't.
So so she goes see some kids. Mm-hmm. She decides to buy a new place so that Aiden and her don't have to go to her brownstone.
And she's thinking about those kids being in her house.
She's like, I got extra rooms for them. I'm like, dickmatized.
And she talks to the ex.
She meets with Kathy.
And Kathy's like, bitch, don't break his heart again. Right. And I was like, I don't think you got anything to worry about that. I don't.
Okay. So the first couple episodes when this is starting to happen, before we get into the kids of it all and the back end, which we'll get to, are you buying it? Are you happy he's around? Are you like seeing a light at the end of the tunnel? Like, how are you feeling?
I enjoy that it's an old love, old flame type of situation. Up until she said, did I make a mistake with Big? I was okay. Once they said that, I was just like, this is too much.
It's a lot.
Like, the fact that she couldn't even give Franklin like Tuesday through Thursday, like, and now she want to buy whole houses for other people. I'm like, hold up, sis. Like, this motherfucker is from Norfolk. They are schemers and scammers.
Oh
no! Like, it's giving Nigeria over there. Like,
there goes our Norfolk sponsorship. But
Norfolk and Southern, like,
so
running trains.
I think I was optimistic because I was pro Aiden. I liked Aiden as a storyline.
Yeah.
So I was optimistic, but the second we realized that Wyatt is the weird kid about the situation, I'm like, there's your
like the mom said, he's our little puzzle piece. I was like, what the fuck?
He's acting weird when he hops on the phone with her. I'm like, okay, so this is going to be the out.
I honestly thought he tried to kill himself.
I thought it was a suicide attempt too. I was kind of surprised they didn't. I guess I don't know, but I assumed it was too, and maybe we'll find something else out later. I don't know.
It wasn't. He said it was, he did some mushrooms or something like that.
Where'd he even get mushrooms? So the kid, for those playing along, the kid
for Norfolk,
gets into a car accident. Aiden has to leave suddenly from home in Norfolk. Aiden calls Carrie. That was rough. His crying scene, that was a lot.
Oh.
That was a lot.
Trauma, drama.
Carrie, who I can see in her head, like she's trying to be supportive, but also doing the math. Yeah, like she's like, it's going to be okay. Don't worry, honey. And she's like, bitch, I just signed this lease.
Not a lease. Bought the house.
She bought the house. I just sold this other one to Lisette for $5.
Girl, this baby just lucked up on a house. Ugh.
And then the deal happens.
Mm-hmm.
You ready, Tim? So what does Aiden do when he comes back?
Tidy whitey thin ass bitch comes into this house and says, goes to the house he can't go to.
That's right. He shows up at her house
and says, I don't have nothing packed because I got to get right back on the plane because I'm about to break up with your ass. And guess what? We need to be apart for 5 years.
Oh, okay. So did you legitimately read it as a breakup?
Girl, I read it as a breakup as soon as she blew out that candle. I did.
Gotcha.
She said, she was like, bitch, like, I'm done with this.
She was, yeah.
And should have been, because she should have been done when he said, I can't get up in that house. She should have said, well, you need to walk on.
There were lots of red flags.
Home to Norfolk because I don't have time for this. Like, you're gonna come into the house that you swear up and down you can't come to break up with this woman, and then act like, oh, 5 years goes by. Like, I'm like, girl, don't do this. I was like, you just, and part of me rewrote the story. And it's like, he did this just to hurt her like he was hurt. All of this, he made her fall in love, buy stuff, because he bought that other part of the apartment, and she, cheated or whatever. And it just like, he did that on purpose. He did all of that so that she could just feel.
Oh, something burning?
So sometimes my upstairs neighbor wants to be a chef.
Oh, okay.
Without looking beautiful.
Not a 5-star Michelin.
And that part, I am not Naya. I don't want that.
Well, thank you.
But yes.
Yeah, I was waiting for the complete break, right? Yeah. I thought like they were dropping those hints with the kid because at the end of the season he can't commit because he's got to be home with his kids. Like that's kind of where they went, is where I thought they were going. I didn't think they would go for the meh, which was the where because he says like, no, I'm not leaving you. I'm not gonna. Well, not even that. He's like, I'm not leaving you. We're not gonna do this to each other. Like I can move in with you in 5 years. So it sounds like
I thought it was like, I'm not going to have time to come up to see you, because she made a lot of concessions. She was like, oh, I can come see you and you can, whenever you have time. And he made it sound like I ain't never going to have time.
It's weird because they're making some kind of commitment. Like he's saying like, we're not like, it'll be over just like that. I will be here in 5 years. So they are making some commitment to each other for a time period. Yeah. What they do probably smartly is that they don't fill in the blanks with what that means. Season 3, what does it mean if you're waiting for Aiden? Well, do you get to bump the whole city? Do you go find Burger? By the way, Al is waiting for justice for Burger. I just want to put that out. But
you're never gonna get justice for Burger because Burger doesn't need justice. Burger needs jail time. Burger needs restitution.
Yeah. I'd rather see the old politician, the guy from Mad Men. I'd rather see him before I see Burger again. Let me tell you.
I'd rather see him and Alan McBeal do whatever they were doing on Brothers and Sisters. Anyway, but
well, Tim, let me ask you, like, all things said and done, here we are at the end of season 2. Are you excited for season 3?
I'm excited for season 3 because I'll get to see Herbert. I know that I will see, Miranda fuck up her life in some sort of way. And I just love Seema. Like, she's so bomb.
I'm full in on the newer cast. Like like whatever. Again, I'm here for it. I love it.
Yeah, I really love most of that cast. Like Che, I do like them. I just need them to do something else. Like, I almost thought that they were going to get with the young girl, Lisette.
Oh yeah, there was that
talking
moment.
about that butterfly thing. I was like, oh, okay, so you're cocooning.
Yeah, so now you'll still be near Carrie's old apartment. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, but yeah, Lisette was cute. It was clear that like her arc was done. Like,
yes, yeah, no, like, I thought, save for the Carrie stuff, which okay, whatever. I thought they got to somewhere at the end there with like, okay, like everybody's in a spot, where we know where we're gonna jump off for next season. So I don't know, I'm excited.
And everybody was like doing it doggy style at the end.
Everybody.
I was like, shout out.
You're not looking to the past. It's like, okay.
They're like, damn. Look back at it. Like, it was a thing.
Well, Tim, let me ask you, after doing all that, which character is making you live this week?
I will have to say that it's always going to be LTW.
Yeah.
Like the story, the clothes, the attitude, the grace, the just everything was just so good and so like needed on screen.
Yep.
It's like
Agreed.
I can be all these things that these other ladies are, and also I'm black, and I do.
Yep.
So I'm living for her. What about you?
LT Dubs, baby. I'm living for Giuseppe. You know, bringing in. You know,
I'm sure you are.
You know, I love carbs.
One would say you would get on your knees for a good bread.
He's a newer character even to this season. Mm-hmm. He brings in a little young blood for Anthony. It's inspirational in the fact that, you know, even Anthony, who's kind of what am I looking for? Kind of a curmudgeon in some of his ways and older and kind of stuck. He brought him out of his shell. New life, new love. So yeah. Giuseppe, thank you for being a very big poet. Really appreciate that. Tim, where can people find us?
You can find us anywhere. You can find the lube that Giuseppe's using on Anthony.
Ooh!
You can find us online, on Amazon, on Shein.
Talk about my Beyonce dress like that.
You'll find us on She by Sheree. But mostly and importantly, you can find us on wearecubandchub.com.
That's right, wearecubandchub.com. You can also send us a message if you want to send us a letter, let us know how things are going. If you want us to watch a particular series that we should review in our recap series, please let us know. That email is wearecubandchub@gmail.com. Again, that's wearecubandchub@gmail.com.
Because we are.
Tim, this is by far the longest episode we've ever done. I'm so...
Listen, it
couldn't have done it with
anybody he said.
Yeah, couldn't have done it with anybody else. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I could have did it with LTW, but if not her, definitely my bestie.
Oh yeah, I would have done it with Herbert for like 3 hours.
First of all, you will never touch my man. Like, take Giuseppe and enjoy.
That's right. I'll take my bread and run. Everybody, thanks for being here this week. We love you so much. Enjoy your time. We'll see you next time, okay?
Bye. Talk to your mothers respectfully.